She is a skillful writer, and this last year is bringing her book to life. I first discovered her storytelling talent in the Universe monologues, where she made us laugh and cry. What you also should know about her is the twin boys in her story are here tonight to enjoy their mom telling about them. Please welcome Michele Robbins.
I'm a mom. I love my kids. And sometimes they drive me crazy, which makes me pretty much like every other mom I know. But I want to tell you about my boys. They are 14-and-a-half-year-old identical twins named River and Bodhi. They were less than 3 pounds when they were born prematurely. Now they're taller than me, almost 6 feet. And they're amazing. They're smart, they're kind, they're generous, they're insightful, they're witty, they're hilarious. They've already done amazing things. Just last week, they were on KZSC for an hour being interviewed. And they've written their own I Have a Dream speeches, which we posted on YouTube, and they've been seen by more than 10,000 people with an incredible message of love and peace and embracing differences. I'm really proud of them. I think what I'm most proud is how comfortable they are expressing exactly who they are. I mean, they wear whatever they want. Bodhi left the house the other day in a green top hat, flaming bright red button-down shirt, black suit coat, tight blue leggings, and radical green sneakers. He looked awesome. We live in a society where all of us are being so pressured to fit in to pretty tight boxes, and my kids just are outside the box. So I learn a lot from them. And I wanted to take a moment to share that because people, sadly, have a hard time hearing that once they learn another amazing thing about my boys, which is that they're autistic, both of them. And autism is still very mysterious in a lot of ways, but we do know some things. Neuroscientists tell us that autistic brains actually process information faster and more powerfully than the rest of us, which explains why most autistic people have some extraordinary capacities in some way or another, and at the same time, why they struggle with extreme sensitivities that trigger meltdowns and system overload shutdown. So let me paint a picture of what that has looked like in our house. Growing up, my kids could not tolerate anything being put into or near their mouths, which made feeding them difficult. But we figured it out, just put a lot of healthy food in front of them and let them go at it. And it worked as long as we were willing to spend hours every day cleaning, not just high chairs and clothes and walls and hair and floor, basically a 20-foot radius around them. And as long as we were willing for them to look like they just crawled out of a compost bucket, it worked. I didn't know until much later that many autistic children struggle with extreme food rigidities. They'll only eat one color of food or only 5 different foods, sometimes none of which are vegetables, or not tolerate certain textures. And my kids at this point, happily, are the best eaters that I know. I had one occupational therapist tell me that perhaps she thought the unusual level of food flexibility that they have was related to the pretty unusual level of food freedom that they had enjoyed most of their life. I don't know if that's true, but I love the idea that those hours of cleanup were really important. So if we succeeded in the realm of eating, we failed spectacularly in the realm of toothbrushing. We learned a few years into their lives that because of the prematurity, the enamel had not formed properly on their teeth, and so they were subject to massive tooth decay. So after their second round of general anesthesia to repair the damage, we knew we had to brush their teeth. We didn't realize that for them, it was actually a kind of torture. I mean, probably it felt something like a giant toilet brush being shoved into their mouth. We thought they were just being defiant. And if we were just consistent, they'd get used to it and the tantrums would stop. But they didn't. And so we resorted to the only tactic that always worked, brute force, just pinning them down and brushing their teeth when we had to, every single day. Not realizing that every time we overpowered them, we were eroding the fabric of trust and respect in the relationship. By the time they were 10, we were in bad shape, not just with toothbrushing. At that point, it felt like our whole lives was a war, a struggle of will, and all of our creativity going into devising better restraint techniques, which sadly in the world of autism is considered a legitimate technique. Autistic kids are not easy control. They have amazing, strong wills and overwhelming sensitivities that we can't even fathom. And far too few of us even try. Most of our time and attention as a society goes into trying to figure out how to manage and control, instead of trying to really understand what it's like from their perspective and figure out ways of creating partnership solutions. But I know firsthand at far too great a cost. So we were desperate, but in our desperation, willing to look outside the box at creative solutions. And we found an amazing transformational program called the Sunrise Program, which really looked at autism from an entirely different perspective. And right away, they said, take your attention away from your child and their behavior, and first put it on yourself and on your behavior and on what's driving you. What are the feelings, the thoughts, really the beliefs underlying? And I realized I was living my life, I could live the rest of my life as a battle that I could never win. But I wanted something different. So eventually, I decided to choose to embrace my life as a bold and daring adventure. I thought about mountain climbers, right? All kinds of people choose to climb mountains. The harder, the better, right? Not because it's easy, because they understand that immense effort with a spectacular terrain creates life-changing opportunities. And that's how I see my life. It requires extraordinary effort from all of us, from my kids, from all of us. And the landscape and terrain of our lives is spectacular. The views we get from our mountain top are exhilarating and life-changing, like toothbrushing. So I begged my mentors, please, just tell me how to get them to let me brush their teeth. They said, really? You want to brush their teeth for the rest of your life? Well, no, of course not, but, well, so really what you want is to inspire them to brush their own teeth. Well, yeah, but that's actually impossible. I mean, I have years of evidence that my kids will never voluntarily brush their own teeth. And I argued for a while until I realized that arguing impossibility, I could be right, but defeated for as long as I wanted. And eventually, I decided to shift my attention to imagine what might be possible. And they had said, if you want to get your kids to do something that's important to you, that they're not interested in, you need to fuse it with something they're really passionate about. I said, well, I know what they're passionate about. They're passionate about watching surfing on YouTube. I mean, not just surfing. They like to watch international contests with commentators announcing blow by blow every wave, right? Kelly Slater's getting up for his first wave. At 40 years old, can you believe he's still at the top of the world? They just would go crazy, slapping their thighs and jumping up and down and hollering for hours. I mean, as long as I would let them. But how did that relate to toothbrushing? Thought about it. Thought, well, I mean, it's a crazy idea, but I mean, we could have a toothbrushing competition. I could be the announcer. I don't know if you realize, but Santa Cruz actually hosted the first World Championship toothbrushing contest. It was at our house a few years ago, and it was awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, River Robbins steps up for his heat. A few moments ago, we saw some amazing action from Bodie, but right now, all eyes are on River. 2 minutes, 4 quadrants. Here he goes. And he's off. Oh, he's going for the upper left quadrant first. He's got that nice, smooth movement. Yes, he's got to get all the way up to the gums. Yes, he does it. Around the back. Can he get all? Yes, and the back side for a full 10 seconds. Yes, he's down to the lower right-hand quadrant. Can he get on top? Yes, the sides. Yes, the back over to the left-hand quadrant. He is doing amazing. Can you believe these boys have taken the world by storm? In the last few weeks, they've got a real chance at this year's title. It was so awesome! They loved it. I loved it. That was a mountaintop experience I wouldn't trade for the world. I'm so happy River and Bodie are here. I love you, and I'm so proud of you.